If you live in the state of California, then controlling Poa Annua, we're talking killing Poa Annua or preventing Poa Annua, it's much more complicated than it is for most places around the country. And the reason for that has to do with our unique climate that's over here. It basically means that the bulk of people living in the state of California have different rules for dealing with or controlling Poa Annua in their lawns. When you follow the standard set of rules that most people are familiar with, they don't work quite as well for us here in this state. For instance, commonly known Poa Annua prevention dictates the application of a pre-emergent, such as prodiamine, as soil temperatures drop below 70 degrees. But what is lesser known is that it's common for some Poa to germinate in soil temperatures that are closer to 80 degrees. And it's also common for Poa to continue to germinate in soil temperatures that drop to as low as 50 degrees. None of that has anything to do with the state of California. It's just less common knowledge about this type of grass, this unwanted type of grass. Now, in many urban centers around California, such as those found in the Bay Area, Central Coast, Southern California, Inland Empire, winter soil temperatures rarely get much below 50 degrees. So that means that the germination season for Poa tends to extend from late September, as soil temperatures are dropping into the mid-70s, all the way until March the following year, when soil temperatures are pushing well past 55. That's a staggering 6 to 7 month long window. For more than half of the year, Poa Annua can be germinating in most California lawns. Now, exceptions to this would be the mountainous areas of southern, eastern, and northern California, as well as California's major central valley, the one spanning from Redding through Fresno, where soil temperatures, those areas, they typically drop into the mid to low 40s every winter in the months of like December and January. Bakersfield, although it's in the valley, it's a place that could teeter in either direction based on the severity of the off-season. But for those aforementioned heavily populated areas, as soil temperatures drop into the mid-70s, if you were to apply a half-rate application of prodiamine, this would usually be around mid-September through early October, depending on how hot your summer extends into the fall. And then at least 60 days later, usually by early December, when the soil temperatures are approaching 50 degrees, you'll then apply another half rate of prodiamine. By splitting these applications a couple months apart, 60, 70 days apart, you're going to get better control over the germination of the earliest to germinate Poa seeds and the latest to germinate Poa seeds. And by latest, it's not even really the latest, because it's going to continue going through the course of the entire winter. If you live in Santa Barbara, your soil temperatures are just never really going to get below 50 degrees. So at any point in November, December, January, Poa Annua can still be germinating. And that goes for all of the other areas, Bay Area, LA, San Diego, etc., etc., etc. Now, because you shouldn't be applying more than 2 applications of prodiamine every year, you then need to switch over to dithiopyr in February, which is going to prevent the late winter Poa, because we're still teetering in the low 50 degrees in most areas of California. But the temperatures are starting to go up, so that dithiopyr is not only going to prevent the late winter Poa from germinating, but also the spring crabgrass. And dithiopyr conveniently gives us a slight post-emergent effect on crabgrass. So if we do happen to have a warm stretch or a warm snap in late January, and some crabgrass might have germinated, the dithiopyr will kill that off as well. That February application of dithiopyr will be a full strength application, assuming we're not putting down grass seed anytime soon. So it should give us continued coverage for the rest of the spring growing season. Now, if during this span of time, the 6-month span of time, if you think you need a post-emergent herbicide to kill off any breakthrough Poa that was somehow missed, then you've got a few different options, and you really need to know your grass type. If you happen to have a Bermuda lawn, or a buffalo, or a kikuyu, or a St. Augustine, or a seashore paspalum, or any other warm season lawn grass that may be less commonly found in California, you can apply a product called Certainty. It uses sulfurylsulfuron as its active ingredient. It's going to kill young Poa Annua that's in the lawn, but it won't be very good at killing mature Poa Annua. You're more likely to be applying this in late fall to early winter, and not mid-spring when temperatures have really come up and the Poa Annua has matured. Not only does sulfurylsulfuron kill the Poa Annua, but it also kills off a smattering of other weeds that you might have here and there throughout the lawn. One of those weeds are sedges. Sedges are generally considered to be weeds in our lawns because we don't want them there. They're decorative sedges, but when they're growing in the lawns, it's not something that we want. And there are very few products that kill them well. So that's another vote for certainty. And it's a product that I've used in my lawn numerous times over the past couple years. Now, also in California, you're going to find a lot of fescue lawns. In some of the mountain zones, you're going to have KBG and rye. But if you run a fescue KBG, so that would be Kentucky bluegrass or ryegrass lawn, then one simple way of suppressing the existing POA or breakthrough POA between your pre-emergent applications is to apply multiple 2 to 3 low-rate applications of Tenacity, which uses mesotrione as its active ingredient. If you apply low-rate applications every couple weeks, and you're okay with the fact that the mesotrione will bleach out, it will turn the Poa Annua a little bit of a white color as it slowly dies. If you're okay with that, then it's a great option. It's not perfect, but it certainly is going to suppress breakthrough weeds because the pre-emergents are not going to kill them. Now, also for cool season grasses, there is a product called Poa Constrictor. This is a product I don't own, nor have I ever used, but it is another option that has limited post-emergent effect at killing very young Poa Annua plants, those that are up to about the 2-leaf stage. So they're very tiny. This makes the most sense if you didn't get a pre-emergent applied to your lawn back in September or October when soil temperatures were around 70 degrees. Some of that POA will have germinated. So a November application of Poa Constrictor can kill off some of those youngest POA plants in the lawn, while you then apply your late fall application of prodiamine to prevent new seedlings from popping up over the next few months. Now, for those of you who do happen to live in one of those exception areas in California, then I would suggest falling back on conventional preventative applications of a full dose of fall pre-emergent when soil temperatures start dropping below 70 degrees. This is in the late September to early October timeframe for most locations. Then again, doing another standard spring pre-emergent application once those soil temperatures start increasing over 55 degrees, which is probably going to occur somewhere in the month of February for most of you exception zone areas. Again, certainty, Poa Constrictor, and Tenacity are going to be the best post-emergent products that Californians are going to be buying and using. But you don't have to. You have to decide whether you're going to use them for those breakthrough POA events that happen in between your pre-emergents. If you are applying pre-emergents, then you're going to have minimal post-emergent problems. But without those products, without those 3 products, depending on the grass type that you have in your lawn, you're not going to get rid of the POA out of your lawn. It's going to be there until it naturally dies off in the warmer temperatures of late spring. The thing is, although Poa Annua is an annual plant that will die off in hotter temperatures, when we heavily manage our lawns, meaning we irrigate them and we mow them, those people that apply fungicides, all of these things actually extend the life cycle of Poa Annua. It will grow longer into the year if we're taking good care of our lawns. So if you do have Poa Annua in your lawn in the month of December already, you can see it, then it might be worth killing it off because it's probably going to be there for another 4 or 5 months straight. Now, there are a lot of specific situations that may alter your plan or this plan, as well as many caveats. I can't discuss every scenario in this video for the entire state, but I'll happily answer as many questions as I can down in the comments. Now, for those of you with specific personal scenarios that you'd like my take on, then please use my book a call with me service and I'll help you out one-on-one with your own specific situation. At least I'll give you my take on it. You got to know what your grass types are when using post-emergent herbicides. So if you don't know, then I'm going to link to some grass type identification resources down in the description box below. California lawn care is different than most other places around the country, and it can get pretty complicated because there's so many types of grass types grown here and so many different weather regions, and those weather regions affect everything. Use the resources linked in the description box below.